Blockchain is a distributed digital ledger system where transactions of various types between parts are recorded. Blockchain allows the information to be stored in several computers across the network instead of being kept in just one location. This distribution and the encryption of the data increases the security in transactions with the potential to reduce operating costs and gain efficiency. Blockchain is a technology that makes it possible to record information in a safe, immutable, and transparent way, even among people who have never seen each other. Blockchain can be compared to a database, but instead of a traditional database, which is centralized, blockchain is decentralized. Here we have examples of centralized and decentralized network. Internet and bank system are examples of centralized networks. It's the blockchain that enables us to make value transfer digitally, even without intermediaries such as banks or notaries. Blockchain enables the decentralization of trust. In other words, we don't need to rely on third parties to make a transaction. Blockchain is a record of possession. When we authorize the transaction, the right of possession goes from one blockchain address to another. For example, let's say that Terry will transfer €5 to Joe. The first thing that is for blockchain, it doesn't matter our name. What matter is our address in the network. The blockchain is like a large file or large library, and the address on the blockchain, the public key, as if it were a folder in that library. It is in this folder that the amount of money we have is registered and all transactions made with the address. Then, in this example, the contents of Terry's wallet, transferring €5 to Joe's wallet, will be added as content containing information about that transaction. This information will be recorded in the blockchain and will be inserted in a block along with other transactions that are happening at the moment. This whole block of transactions information that is going on will be mixed and made into one phrase or one sentence. This phrase is called a hash. This fragment of all this information in this transaction block, this hash will be inserted in the next block of information. This means that the next block will have a fragment that summarizes everything that was in the previous block. And that's why the blockchain is immutable, because if anything is changed in the block where the information was inserted, such as a comma, a letter, or an extra space, anything at all, that hash will change, causing the network cannot identify this information as correct and will not propagate that information across the network. And it happens successively. Everything that happens in the blockchain is like a story that cannot be modified, and that's why it's very difficult to modify the blockchain, to hack the blockchain, making it very secure, because after the information is inserted, is consolidated on the network, it is very difficult to change anything. Here we have an example of how blockchain can be used to gain competitive advantage. Here we have an example of supply chain. Currently we have companies such as Walmart and UPS, which is a parcel delivery company, that are using blockchain as supply chain. Here the supplier, we can, for example, can be a farmer, for example, and the farmer register information about the cattle, the cow, if the cow belongs to is a free range, is healthy, and then the producer um, is the place where the food is prepared. We can say like a meat factory, and then they make the food preparation, they make the cuts, and they have everything registered using barcodes or QR codes. And the distributor is the warehouse, the central warehouse, for example, receives the beef products notifications, the time they are coming, and they can arrange a suitable time for the 3PL. The 3PL is the delivery service, the third party logistic, and they knows the origin and the destination of product to deliver. So in this case, the origin is the supplier, the destination is the retailer. Also the delivery, they knows information how to store the products, how was the proper temperature in this case, because we are dealing with meat like beef products. And the retailer, here we can use for example Tesco Central Storage, for example, and there they can add like potential receipts with these food information, food products, and they can provide as well the app for the customers. Then in the store is the actual supermarket, the Tesco supermarket. They knows the delivery time, and they can do like a better promotions organization. And the customer can download the app and can scan QR code and have all information of these products, not only the price or the nutrition, but everything from the very beginning. In this case, we are using example of meat, so they have information about everything from the farmer, the type of cow, everything. In our industry as well, we can use blockchain, so the airplane manufacturer can provide aircraft components. The service providers is the people, the workers that maintain it, repairs the aircraft. And then the airline companies gather information about the passengers information. They keep cabin inspection as well, and maintenance records. We can say like the date of the last service repair, accident records, flight inspection date, among others. And the flight auditor is the people who evaluates the status of the flight, if that flight is in good conditions to take a flight. And everything is very transparent from the manufacturer to the airplane company. Even the passenger can have all the information with blockchain. Car industry is very similar to the supply chain. We have the manufacturer, is the company that produces the small pieces of a car, everything like glass or small pieces. And the car manufacturer is the actual company that builds up the car, for example Ford or Toyota. And the logistics have the same flows like in the supply chain until we get to the car dealer, which is the end customer. And even they have information not only about the car, like for example, we know the year of the car, the color, the price, the engine. But with blockchain you can have even more in the very small details of the car, since in the beginning, like in the manufacturer, where the piece comes from, where this specific part of the car comes from, the quality, when it was produced. And here we have competitive advantage of blockchain, so cannot be hacked. It's decentralized, it means that it has no ownership. Security uses cryptography, has distributed ledgers, it makes it more transparent, everyone knows what's happening. And the consensus is the trust, so everyone can trust each other because they are working the same network. In online voting, it can be used for private elections by private by public vote, for example, voting by a company's shareholders, blockchain serves to replace the notary. It can be used as well for public elections, like political elections by secret vote. And blockchain can guarantee the integrity of the vote, but does not guarantee the secrecy of the vote. So there are few advantages in here because it's secure registration of votes, so they cannot be changed. So this is immutability. Is decentralized storage, so everyone has a copy of the ledger, and transparency with public access to all records because the ledgers are all distributed. So in this case, blockchain for electoral voting is not a good option. It is better for plebiscites or for popular referendum, such as in the participatory budget, which decides priorities, in the municipality budget, such as investing in roads and avenues, healthcare, public safety. Another example is digital identity as well. It can be used to modernize the identify management for organization individuals. Using biometrics, it is possible to make the establishment, tracking, identifying management more efficient, secure, and less subject to fraud. Biometrics taken through fingerprint, voice, face, and then the identification is recorded on the blockchain. The data can be used on the network to identify itself to third parties, and people are sure that the information is true through blockchain. The user has complete control of his information, determining what information is shared, who sees it, and for how long they can see it. So instead of several papers and documents, people can use only one source of identity.